Hey everyone, it's Mel from the 441, and in today's video I am going to give you guys a brief overview of the cycles of the moon. I did try to film this one before, but it was very quick and not the best quality, so I've decided to film it again. And this time what I'm going to do is I have a deck that I got when I was in Ireland last year. It's the Celtic Moon Sacred Ireland Celtic Moon deck by Dr. Karen Ward and Bernie Sexton. My mum actually bought me this deck, which is quite cool, and in it has the phases of the moon. So I'm going to use these just as reference. If I get a chance, I'll link somewhere you can buy that deck below. I don't have an Amazon store or anything like that, so there'd be no commission or anything. It's just for you to get a price guide and to find it if you choose to. So the moon. Some people say that because the moon is we're 70% water and the moon affects the tides and everything, that it then therefore affects us, which is true. The moon cycle is 29.5 days, and it changes astrology sign every 2.5 days. So when you have a new moon, when you can't see the moon in the sky, and when you have then the full moon, which is the midway point of the cycle, which is about 14.5 days, give or take, you have the opposite thing happen, if that makes sense. So the new moon, you don't see the moon in the sky. The new moon is on the same astrology sign as the sun, because it's in alignment with the sun, and that's why you can't see it in the sky. And generally, this is when people want to just chill out, block themselves out of the world, block themselves out from the world for a couple of days. It's kind of the end of that decluttering, and it's the start of coming up with new ideas. And it's a great time to set an intention on your house. Your house is something I will do in another video. So I've got Pam Gregory's book out here because I was learning more. It's You Don't Really Believe in Astrology, do you? So you've got these house signs, and depending on the house signs, this is the bit I need to learn a bit more on, because I just use an app in the past. But say, for example, the sun and the moon are in 6, which is actually pretty funny, because daily routine, diet, health, co-workers and small animals, a lot of that I'm focused on at the moment. So say, for example, if it was in 6 and it falls in Virgo, that, because it's Virgo season at the moment, you are going to want to quadruple down on those kind of things naturally. So if you can set an intention to go, you know what, I'm going to get more organized, I'm going to come up with some structure, the odds will be better in your favor to work with an intention around that, versus say number 9, which is long distance travel, higher education, philosophy, religion and metaphysics. You might find that that's what you're wanting to work on, but you're struggling to do it because you're being aligned to work more with number 6. Again, I'll get into the houses and all that in another video, because I am still learning them. I use, and I can't show you because I'm filming on my phone today, I use an app called Time Passages, and usually just do what that tells me what to do, but I want to learn more. So that is your dark phase of the moon. Then, now this one we're going to have to kind of work in reverse, because they only have one crescent moon. They don't have like the waxing crescent and the waning crescent. I believe this one is meant to be the waning crescent. So this one, which is obviously when you start to see that little sliver in the moon in the sky, it's when you start to put your plans and your dreams into place and take action on them. you can have some hurdles with this phase of the moon because it will put stuff in front of you to test you and to go, do you really want to work on your routine right now? Because we're going to make your life chaotic and see how badly you want that thing, like structure, because we're going on Virgo. And if you can push through that and go, yes, I do want it, then, sorry, I've got too many cards. When you get to the half moon, this is where the moon presents you with opportunities where you go, yes, I would love that app that somebody just taught me about, which like Trello or Notion or whatever, which helps me add order to my chaos, or the cooking app that will copy paste all the recipes, allow me to double, quadruple, half recipes. It has a shopping list. It actually adds all together how much eggs I need for the whole week. So instead of going 2 eggs here, 2 eggs here, 2 eggs here, it tells me I need 6 eggs. So when you get to the half moon, that is when you go, yes, I want that. Yes, I want this. Thank you, universe, for helping me. Then we get to the full moon. Full moon. And the more you kind of learn to work with the moons, you actually will start to see these rhythms, these, I've got like the perfect word for this and it's not coming to the tip of my head, but I can like feel it. You know when you feel a word at the front of your head? These rhythms, these cycles, I guess, that you're like, oh wait, it's full moon and this just happened to happen. Like an important meeting will end up being on a full moon, or you have something you've been waiting on and you get confirmation that it's coming on a full moon, or it'll just arrive on a full moon, etc. So it's the time of harvest. So if you think about this in a planting way, dark moon is when you plant your seeds, you sow your seeds. Crescent moon is when they're tiny little seedlings and they're up for attack and you have to tend to them and look after them and protect them. Half moon is when they're nearly grown and you don't need to protect them as much because they're hardier. Full moon is when you harvest the plants off them, like the capsicum or the whatever. So time of celebration, time of things coming into harvest. Then we get your other half moon going backwards. So once you hit the full moon, instead of like pushing to do the new things, so you're like working on all the new things, what I like to do is still work on the things I'm working on, but simultaneously I also like to work on clearing my path to make space again for the next cycle in the 14.5 days. And it's where you take stock and you go, this is like at the half moon and then the other crescent moon. You take stock and you go, okay, well, I tried to get organized, but life was too chaotic. So what can I do better? How can I achieve this by doing it differently in the next month? Maybe I need to put timers on my phone. Maybe I need to meal plan. Maybe I need to pick a workout program that uses limited weights or limited equipment so that I have to make less decisions to start that workout program or whatever. I also like to declutter around this time. I'd like to declutter all the time, but especially you'll find me going, oh my God, it's nearly the full moon, or oh my God, it's nearly the new moon. What can I declutter that maybe I've put in a pile somewhere, but I haven't actually gotten it out of the house? So I will try and do that around this time. Like at the moment, my old printer and some books and a photo frame are over there that I do need to shift. But the printer, it works, it just doesn't scan. So I was thinking of putting that up on Buy Nothing. Anyway, I'm getting away from myself. So, yeah, how can you do things better? Maybe some of the things you're working on, you might go, hang on a minute, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, this isn't as important as what I thought it was, and maybe I'm better off on focusing over here. So then when you get to the new, you go, right, well, how can I clear up all that I've worked on that I don't need anymore? And then you get to the new moon, you go, this is my new intention based on the star sign and the house. You don't have to, it hedges your bets a bit better if you can work on that. Yeah. So you reflect and let go in the kind of second half of the cycle, and then you come back into the dark moon again, where you kind of get quiet and you go, okay, what am I wanting to work on right now? Again. So that is kind of, in a nutshell, the basics of the moon. One I want to mention is a blue moon. So a blue moon, oh wait, hang on. I'm so sorry, guys. When I was talking about the new moon and the thing, I know I said it was opposite, but I didn't kind of complete that sentence. I said it about this one, but I don't think I said it about this one. So, for example, if you have a new moon in, yeah, this should work. Don't quote me on this, but it should work. I'll check actually Kirsty's book. If you have a new moon, say, in Aries, you're then going to have a full moon in 71. Yeah, there you go, Libra. There you go. Yeah, cool. So Kirsty, on her book, she has a really good guide, and this is her lunar living, and it's on page 7. But the full moon is opposite the sun. So therefore, if you're in Aries, you're not going to have a full moon in Aries. You're going to have a full moon in Libra. Vice versa, when you're in Libra season, your new moon is in Libra, but your full moon will be in Aries. So that was something I wanted to say on the full moon. And then the last thing was, every so often we get a once in a blue moon. And what this represents is whatever way the lunar cycle works, and because our days are the months of the year, like some people say traditionally that we should have 28 days or 29 days every month. And then that way then everything is the same. Because it goes on to like the women and our cycle, like our traditional cycle is 28 days and everything. And we should bleed on the new moon. And then we ovulate on the full moon and all of that. But once every so often you get once in a blue moon. And it actually happened in July, I think it was, in early August, where we had a full moon in Capricorn, followed by a new moon in, let me go back to that page again. So if it's Capricorn, the full moon would have been the new moon would have been in Cancer. And then we had a second full moon in Capricorn. And blue moons really shake and bring into light whatever a normal full moon doesn't. So it just amplifies. So it's a second full moon in the same month or third full moon in an astronomical season. As the time between two full moons is 29.5 days long and most months are longer, this phenomenon gives us a 13th moon in the year instead of the usual 12, and happens every 2.5 years. If the moon has a bluish tinge, it's only because of dust in the atmosphere. The phrase once in a blue moon has come to mean a rare occurrence and gives you the opportunity to do something really amazing. So take time to shake things up and bring on the extraordinary, as well as the new prospects to open up to a lucky break. So yeah, so it shakes things up, and the fact that that was a new moon that we just had, our full moon that we just had in Capricorn, it was shaking up the business world, the government, the structure, the top down, the banking, all of that. And I know there was some issues with the stock market last month, so isn't that interesting? And this is why I find astrology so interesting. For me, it is like a weather forecast. I will finish this video by once again referencing my 3 favorite astrologers, because I am not an astrologer. I am just somebody who has an interest in all of this woo-woo stuff. So we got Kirsty Gallagher, Lunar Living. She is on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, everywhere, and she does a cosmic weather report for the week ahead, and I love it because it's all about us and what we're working with this year. And like certain days you might find that these emotions crop up and all that. Then we have Pam Gregory, who is this lovely lady here. This is her book, You Don't Really Believe in Astrology, Do You? I bought this book like 3 years ago and I haven't read it. I keep meaning to read it, but it's full on. It is full on, you know, like she talks a lot of detail, and a lot of it is technical, and it's like a whole other language. If you listen to her channel, you will understand why it's like a whole other channel. So Pam does new moon and full moon updates, and she also does her thoughts on the year ahead, and she is scarily accurate. Like, that woman knows her shit. But like I said, it's technical. I've been listening to her for about 4 years and I still struggle to understand half of what she's saying. And then the last guy, I didn't bring my work phone in here, did I? Because I could show you. No, I didn't. Is Steve Judd. He is on YouTube. I've only started following him recently, in the last 2-3 months. However, I really like his style. Pam's videos could be half an hour, 40 minutes long, and you won't understand half of what she's saying. Steve's videos for the month are 15-20 minutes long, but he says it in like layman's terms. So yes, you do understand. And for him, it's a mesh between what's going on out there to the collective energy, and also what's going on in your personal life. So I tend to listen to all 3 of them. Like Kirsty, I listen to every week. Pam, I listen to her 2 monthly updates. And Steve, I think he only does 1 update for the month. But they're my 3 favorite astrologers at the moment. And that is the basics of the lunar cycle, the phases of the moon. There is another version that you can talk about, kind of like what Kirsty has done. And I highly recommend her book, that you've got 8 phases to the moon. Like, I tend to talk more about the 4, the dark moon, aka the new moon, the first quarter, the first half of the moon, the full moon, and the second half of the moon. But there is actually, it's 8 or 12. Basically, the energy changes every 2.5 days, and it goes from yin energy, which is the quiet, the relaxed energy, to the yang, which is more active energy. I think yin is feminine, yang is masculine. Yin is relaxed and chill and subtle. Yang is more bold and bright and all of that. But I'm going to wrap this up here. 19 minutes, not too shabby. And I feel like I made a lot more sense in this video than in the other one that I attempted to record earlier this week. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you do work with the moon, what is your favorite cycle of working with the moon? At the moment, mine is the kind of ending cycle, making way for the new beginnings, because it motivates me to finish stuff that I haven't started yet, and it'd be like, oh crap, we're halfway through, and I said I was going to do this, this, and this, and I haven't even started it, and I got 2 weeks, so let's smash it. But I also love the new moon as well, because it's like, okay, it's new moon, now I'm going to focus on this because I've cleared the path. yeah, so I am going to try and film another couple of videos for you guys, and I will catch you next time. Cheers! Thanks for watching.